Hey, quiet down, Archie.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, right? Exactly.
And then like someone's like telling like a compelling story, and then like someone says something really funny. I'm just kind of like trying not to say.
Yo, the amount of times I've laughed during like serious stories because I'm looking at the fucking chat.
Yeah, there's like,
Right, I'm right, exactly. Yeah, right. I'll show you. Ah, the puppy.
All right, so we ready?
I'm in.
let's go.
All right, Arch, go lay down, you filthy.
All right, so we are going to.
What kind of dog do you have? Or like what kind of dog is it?
He is a yellow lab Great Pyrenees mix.
Oh, adorable.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Facebook world. We are officially live.
And welcome.
Hell yeah.
Hey.
I have a dog and welcome.
Yeah, right. I have many dogs, and welcome to our stream.
Hell yeah. So.
Wait, you have more than one dog? Oh, sorry.
I do. I have 4.
Oh.
You have 4 dogs?
Yeah, it wasn't planned that way. It's I had 2. I didn't think Odin, my youngest boy, I didn't think he was old enough to impregnate Luna, and well, he was, and we had actually smack dab in the middle of quarantine. Actually, she gave birth to 8 puppies.
Wow.
Yeah.
Listen, you
Yeah.
have nothing else to do in quarantine, so I understand. Like, you know.
Right. Exactly. Kept us, I was in the middle of flipping a house, and then boom, my dog popped out 8 puppies. It was like, oh, okay.
All right, this is it.
Yeah, this is life. So.
And you had no idea? Or you knew? You knew she was pregnant, or you had no idea?
I mean, I didn't know. I mean, obviously, until she started showing, and at that time, we were like, "Oh gosh, the world is shutting down. What are you doing?" I was calling. I feel like I bombarded Chad's girlfriend Asia because she's she's a vet tech. She's been for like years, and she was an ace, man. Like she helped us through every ridiculous question that I had for her.
The world is burning. You're like, I don't know what to do with a pregnant dog. Oh my god.
I know, yeah. I'm like, I don't know what's happening. I swear, like we did everything right. Is this normal? Is that normal? And she's like, calm down. Yeah, everything's normal. All right, cool. And she was right. It was great.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's cool.
Look at that.
You have an adventurous quarantine, huh?
Bro, I got an adventurous life, man. This is quarantine. Nothing. This is normal. Yeah, no, it's we're always active. We stay active. We stay doing things, getting involved in things, and I'm never bored. That's a good thing.
Hell yeah.
You got puppies being born on the left. You got new singles on the right. It's just like it's never a dull day for Jesse.
Never a dull day ever.
You got fans from North Carolina saying hello from the chat over here.
What it is? Who?
A Donna Query, maybe?
Yay!
Hello.
Oh yeah, actually I got this up over here. Yeah, Dawn, Peyton, Ryan, Aunt Donna, what's up? My aunt, she just moved to Asheville, North Carolina. I love it there. Cool. I haven't been there in a few years, but that's a great city for sure.
Cool.
Good music town, Asheville.
You got St. Pete's calling you out now as well.
Where St. Pete? That's our second home.
Oh yeah, what's the story
like
behind
that? Good morning, pumpkin.
Oh, it's adorable.
How you doing? Thanks, Mom. St. Pete, yeah, St. Pete's like our second home. That city gets wild, and St. Pete Beach, for real, they were like the first out of towners to really embrace Oogee and really make us feel like home. Like it was definitely our. I'll be honest with you. Like there came a point, and it's bold to say this. There came a point where it's like St. Pete was outdrawing Long Island, for a minute.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really good. And it still is. We love everyone down there. Ton of family now.
So how did you end up getting down there originally? Did you like get on with another band, or you guys just jumped on a tour there, or how'd that work?
No, I mean, that's just kind of how we roll, like we were like, okay, we're going to do this. We don't, we didn't know anyone. We didn't have anything, officially planned or booked no, not booked. Yes. Like Chad and I booked that whole tour just pretty much on I want to say, actually, yeah, no, you're making me dig in the crates here. We're going back like 8-9 years. That was all through Reverb Nation. Shouts out Lou Playa. Reverb Nation was actually a huge tool for us when we were first starting out, because it was one of the only platforms that you could search for bands in specific areas, in specific genres. Right, so I would spend hours at night just clicking around on Reverb, trying to find bands and sending people messages. Actually, another one, shouts out Cheesy and the Crackers, first band that we ever linked up outside of Long Island, and that's the homie still to this day, so Reverb was good for that. But yeah, that's pretty much how we booked that whole tour. We met up with this great dude, Craig Monroe, and Craig owned a place called Whiskey Dicks. I want to say it was right outside of Tampa, and he's a Long Island dude. And so when we said that we were from Long Island, it was just like, yep, I want you guys to play. I like your style. You're from my hometown. Like, let's go. So that was like our first introduction to Florida, and it's been gnarly ever since.
Isn't it amazing how like just the networking, you just happen to bump. So I was in St. Augustine a few years back, and we ended up bumping into someone who used to work in as like the mayor of Long Beach.
Yeah, sick.
Yeah. Like, it's amazing how small the world is.
Cool.
Yeah, even like Dana from Sideways, he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm from Northport." I'm like, "Excuse me?"
Yeah.
They're like, nobody knows what Northport is, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I was born and raised there." I'm like, "Are you kidding me?"
Born and raised there, yeah, for sure. And once you get outside, it's like everyone down the East Coast is essentially Northeast transplants. Like that's what I've come to learn. For the most part, especially the beach towns. Once you go coastal, it's like everyone is from somewhere up here,
Yeah.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's crazy. All right. Well, for the people who probably don't know who you are and like, who is this random person here? Do you want to introduce yourself and what you do and all that stuff?
Yeah, what's up? I'm Jesse Lee. I've been the front man of Oogee Wawa for forever. AKA Oogee Lee. That's my handle on Instagram, on the gram. I think I have a Twitter under that, though I don't know how to use Twitter. I just link it up to Instagram and let it roll. But yeah, that's me.
Cool stuff.
Yeah, I feel you on the Twitter. I'm slowly trying my hardest, but I'm not good at it.
Bro, I've been trying for years, man. Like, I don't get it. It's like, that's it. You write 2 sentences and people care about that. Okay. Let's try it. I don't get it.
Kind of like one of those platforms you're like on the toilet, you're like, you have like a really long like poop, and you're just like, you're like, you know what I'm really upset about? Like my dog being pregnant in quarantine, and like that's kind
of
what
exactly. And that's what comes out. Yeah. Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know, it's a weird play. It's not really like, I don't know. I don't really see like a need for it for like musicians, I guess, to like take it seriously. That's my opinion. I don't know, like musicians and artists and stuff, it's just like a weird platform to like share stuff. Meanwhile,
right, yeah, I feel like it's newsworthy, like it seems to be a good platform for like journalists, to on the spot report something, or like, so it seems, I guess, okay for that.
Mm-hmm.
Cool for like you putting like pre-save links and shit and doing stuff like that, like announcements, but
can you? Yeah, see, that's the thing. I really don't know anything about it. I know it's like you can write a certain amount of characters until you're cool enough, and Twitter gives you like a certain more characters.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can retweet. That's all I got.
That's it. That's all for me.
Good enough. I mean, you
follow me on Twitter. I don't do anything.
Yeah, right. I don't know. Like, I'll be honest. I love Instagram. I've always loved Instagram. It's dumbed down enough where it's like that mindless scrolling of, haha, that's a funny picture. Like it, keep it moving.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool.
Yo, so when you introduced yourself, you said you have been the frontman of Oogee forever. But how long has it active?
Jesus.
Forever, obviously.
I mean, certainly a decade. Maybe 11 years. What are we in? 2020. I want to say, yeah, like our first like legit live show, I think, was 2009.
Damn.
I'll have to like double check that, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that we go back to like 09.
Damn.
Maybe 08, before Nick and Nick moved to California, and then Nikki, who everyone knows as Oogee Nikki, Nick wound up moving back, and then that was like really the fruition of us, you know.
Very cool.
But yeah, so 2009 for sure.
Wow.
That was
Yeah,
in
so
my-
quite literally forever. It's been at least a decade. So
At least a decade, yeah, for sure.
there you
And
go.
I'd say like we've been like touring pretty heavy for at least 8 years. You know.
Yo,
Do
good
you
for
have
you.
like a favorite place that you've like been to touring wise, or is
Oh,
it
man,
just all
that's-
so great?
Yeah, I tell you what, like, yes, I have 2, possibly 3. One is like completely outlandish. People don't realize. Like Salt Lake City, Utah is probably like the most incredible drive, like driving into that city that I've ever seen in my life. But like before all that, like anyone who has not ventured around this country, I beg you to do so, because it is, everything aside, like this is a beautiful country that we live in, and it should be taken in. You know, it really is.
Yeah.
So, okay, hands down, St. Pete, Florida is home. You know, like that's my favorite place to go to tour to. It's just, like I said, like they've always held it down for us the hardest. Steamboat Springs, Colorado is probably my next.
Mhm.
The boat, I feel like it's actually become a pretty hot spot on tours now. And I remember like we were definitely one of the first like reggae rock bands to go through there. And we linked up with this band Acutonic, who was from there, and they put on a crazy show, packed the place out, and the boat just became like a necessity. You know, it just became like a go-to spot, and it's just absolutely gorgeous up there. So, Steamboat Springs, Colorado, love it.
Good. People in Colorado or in the chat, be sure to be like, "Wow, I'm here. I'm from Colorado." Wow.
Yo, you're getting requested
Hell
to
yeah.
come out to Cali.
Wait, you haven't been to Cali?
Yeah,
yet?
you know what? We have. Yeah, we've been
Okay,
to
I was like,
California
man.
a ton. And I gotta say, like, not knocking on Southern California, it's beautiful. Like OB is one of the greatest places on the planet. That pier, the fact that I got to surf, you know, I got to surf out there. I got to surf Zuma Beach, which was like a huge like life goal for me when I was a kid. You know, so I got to like paddle out in Malibu and surf Zuma. Like that was great. But you know what it is? It's like SoCal is tough. Like if you're not from there, thankfully, like our first time, like really going through San Diego, like, you know, OB area, all that, like our first show, I want to say we had our first show we played with Arise Roots, and they showed us a ton of love. And obviously, like, you know, everyone knows who Arise Roots is now. Like they had a great crowd. They were super, super respectful to us, super kind to us, put us on, and it was great. And then who was the other band that we linked up with? They were crazy. They were more like surf rock, like punk rock surf. Those are like Chad's boys. I can't think of their name. Oh, that's gonna kill me because they're great dudes. But
Someone's gonna like find like an Instagram post, be like, "It's actually my band."
yeah, right. I'm like waiting for Chad to call me and be like, "It's the
You're gonna take this call.
Yeah, it's, you know what it is, man. It's like I said, like, you know, a decade of traveling and meeting new people and new bands. It's like I remember faces for sure. I try to remember events and things, but it's difficult. But yeah, so like California's always been great. It's just, again, like Florida just started really taking over, and when you break it down in a business aspect, the amount of times that we could go from New York to California with that same budget, I could go to Fort Lauderdale and back 4 times.
Right.
You know, so it just started to make more sense as like us and Bumpin' Uglies and Sun-Dried and Treehouse and, you know, Bollywood, like all these like East Coast bands started really building up the East Coast. It just made more sense to stay on the East Coast, you know, and just take those Florida runs, you know, from New Hampshire to Florida and just pound it.
Dude, in Florida just seems to be like exploding with talent. Every day I feel like a new band comes out where I'm just like, yo, who the fuck are these guys? Like they
Yeah, no, definitely.
exploded.
I mean, of course, like think it's we always made that joke. We're like, we would be miles ahead in our career if we were a band from Florida, because you're unrestricted to seasons, you know, and it's something that greatly gets overlooked, you know. Like there are, you know, some good friends down there, Spread the Dub, like they survived basically on, I think it was Monday nights. Yeah, it was Monday nights at ER Bradley's, and they held down a Monday night spot, got paid well, and they did it every single week. And they were able to put on bands like us, like traveling touring bands, and give them a platform and pay you a little bit, and they put you in front of a good crowd. But the fact that they had that reoccurring didn't matter. It was, you know, because it's Florida. Everyone's out. Everyone wants to go and listen to music.
Yeah, there's no winter. There's no like dormant season or anything, you know. So
right,
makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, like everyone's just pretty much every night of the week. You know, you could find something going on, you know, all year round, which is great.
Still, I mean, regardless, like you can find that same amount of bands, that same amount of energy, no matter what state you go to. But I feel like with Florida, everybody seems to be like really fucking good.
Oh, you're saying talent level? Yeah, dude, like
yeah.
talent level for sure, man. Like Florida puts out some fire bands, man. Like literally one of my favorite bands in like the reggae scene is Resonated. Like, and they just happen to be, you know, great friends of ours. And I just think that, you know, like they're SoFlo is another one that, you know, just cashed out. They're crushing it. You know, like Florida produces the supervillains, the OGs right there.
Yep.
You know, like supervillains, like they like kind of like set the groundwork, you know, for a lot of us, you know.
Yeah.
I know me personally, like we owe supervillains a lot. Rob Dudeman, you know, down in Florida, like he was their manager. He helped us out with a lot of shows starting out. And Howie from Ballyhoo, like I thank, you know, the heavens for Howie, like just always being cool and having his phone on. If you ever have a question, you can ask him, you know, and he's just like one of those just down to earth dudes that helps out up and comers, you know.
Dude, trust me, we know. He helped us out like 5 weeks ago, so we fucking know.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, we had
an interview with I saw you guys interviewed him. It was great.
Yeah.
Howie's a good dude, man. He knows the stuff, you know, like he knows this industry like the back of his hand, you know, like he's we need more Howies in the world.
Person too. Like I don't like we like same time we were supposed to start like on a Tuesday or whatever at like 7:30. We for whatever reason at this very convenient time like everything was broken, like our internet was gone, like
the streaming service we used, the entire site went down across the nation.
Oh,
we were here just like, oh my god.
Oh no.
Yeah, and he was like, I can just stream it from my platform. It'll be so like I don't know. He was just like he's just a very like genuine person. He was just like I'm like you don't
that's
really
what I mean.
see that a lot.
He has his own platform that he can do. You know what I mean? Like he's just so in tune to the changing of the times, and you know what I mean? Like I don't know, like not to like, you know, ride them right now, but like I really do, like I appreciate and respect them, you know, Howie in particular, just for his longevity, you know what I mean? Like there's nothing that he hasn't seen, you know, like they started in that grind era of tour 300 days out of the year, fill your van, hit the road, and he's been able to morph and mold into this digital world, and he's done it beautifully, you know. You know, and like that, what you just said right there is a prime example, you know. Like he's like, oh, I got it, yeah, no problem, tick tick, you know.
That's really how it was.
Yeah,
that's great.
Like, no, it's fine. And we're just like, oh my god, thanks. We're like, it's fine.
Yeah.
On a similar note, on like a kind of similar note, do you think do you have any like kind of fond memories of when you were first starting from Oogee Wawa, kind of, or like as the front versus like today? I don't know. Do you have any fond memories of like just starting out and all that? I know you're talking about like the morphing and like the changing of the times and everything. I feel like 10 years ago it was like it's not really more focused on social media compared to now, but yeah.
2000.
You're saying then, right? Like, fond memories, yeah, definitely. You know, like it's been awesome. You know what I mean? Like there's literally nothing that I would rather have done. I have horrid memories, you know, of what it was like starting out and building.
2009 was bad. Why did you ask me that?
You know, right? You know, like, yeah, like I tell you what. To be honest with you, it's everything changes when this becomes a business, and you know, when you start out and you're on that local level, it's pure and it's genuine and it's beautiful, and you know, like you really connect with people, and then at some point it changes and it becomes work and it becomes a business, and you have people yelling at you and you have deadlines and you have, you know, and like, and all of that, you know, I don't know, if you're not able to compartmentalize and separate and remember why you're here, you know, yeah, I imagine it could be, it gets crazy. It definitely gets crazy. And then, you know, on top of it, you have, depending on how many people are in your band, you know, you have 4 or 5 other opinions, other ideas, you know, other mouths to feed, other, you know, like, so yeah, it definitely gets hard, but a fond memory. Yeah, I could tell you, I'll tell you this one. This one's great. The very first time that we played the Paramount, I'll never forget that one.
What was that?
We opened up for Sublime with Rome, and it was like a last minute thing. Like that year we were crushing it. Like we were really like on a tear. I want to say like that was our first, when was that? That was 2012.
They released that album, that first
13?
album with Rome, probably like 2011, so that would make sense.
Yeah, it was like right around that time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they had come through the Paramount, and apparently like ticket sales weren't doing great. So they threw us on because, like I said, like we had been on a tear. You know, like we had just come off the road. I think when we played that show, I think we had just come off like our 222nd show of the year. And it was like, we're home finally, and we got to walk out onto a sold out Paramount stage. And more than half of that place was singing our songs back to us. And like, it was that moment that I was like, it's all been worth it. I can't believe this, you know, like this is incredible. And that was like one of those like awakening moments where it's like, oh wow, this is possible. You know, like this is more than a hobby. This is, you know, this can be real.
Right.
You know, so like that's one that one stays in my head often.
Now, I was gonna ask if what your favorite like Long Island show you guys ever did was, but was that the one?
I mean, yeah, probably, but like no.
2010, so I don't know.
No, like, you know what? I'll be honest. I think my favorite Long Island show was probably the first time that we played the Dublin Deck.
Cool. Okay.
Because I had been working on that summer venue for so long, and it started to like hurt me a little, because I'm like, and I didn't want to go in there all cocky, you know, and be like, do you know who I am? You know, do you know what we do? Like, you know what I mean? I didn't want to be like that, but it was right. Like that's how I felt inside. Like, you know, like, bro, like we're crushing it right now, and you're gonna book another cover band? You know what I mean? Like, we're gonna bring you original music and bring the same size crowd as pretty much every cover band you're gonna book here, maybe with the exception of Drop Dead Sexy, or I mean O.L. Amore. You know, O.L. Amore, I think, is the only other band to outdraw us at the Deck.
Mm-hmm.
Which is like, that's, you know, again, so like that was a huge accomplishment for me when we landed that and then crushed it. And the owner, Scotty, was like, when can I book you guys again? You know, and then that was it. Like summers thereafter, like so many, like I had tried to get plenty of our other like brother bands, you know, gigs there, and they just wouldn't. You know, it was, you're the only original band we'll book. So like that felt good. You know, like that was you know, one of those, we got it.
Like, I did it.
Yeah.
I was at your Dublin Deck show last summer. That show was, well, one of the few you did. I know you guys did a few last summer. But I was at the
Was it the rain one?
It was the one where you had Colin from Bombafia jump on stage with you guys.
Yeah, bro, he crushed it too, man. At first he did. He crushed.
I just remember sitting there, like, he came up and introduced himself to me, and he was like, I'm going up on stage, and I was like, I really hope this guy does really well. I really hope he does well. And
Bro, he impressed me, man. And
he was in here. I remember. He said hello to you before. He was in here.
Oh, was he in here?
Mm-hmm.
That's what's up. Is he?
Where'd he go?
No, yeah, he crushed, man. Yeah, definitely. That's someone I would like to link up with, in the future for sure.
Oh, yeah.
He was awesome.
I was very impressed with him.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what that show was. You guys had that shit packed.
Yeah.
Like, you had that packed like you would have. I'm trying to put in comparison. Probably the same crowd you have like Revolution. You got back there.
See, that's the thing. Like, this is like such a frustrating thing for me with Revolution is. So all right. We had played the Paramount a few times, right? We had played the Paramount a few times as support for shows that weren't selling that well, right?
Right.
We then pitched it to them one summer. We were coming off tour and we were like, we're releasing this EP. It's gonna be, it's gonna be big. We want to book a show there. It was us, Nonstop to Cairo, and the Offshore Regulars. Yeah. And that was the package that we pitched to them. And we wound up bringing in a little over 1,200 through the door.
Damn.
Right? Those numbers sound great. Like, they feel great. Like, even like looking back at that, it's like, oh, wow. Yeah, like, we crushed this one. This is great.
For real.
And we have not been able to do that at Revolution. And that always burned me. And I never understood why. It's like, we have a great draw. It's just for some reason, we never really got over the 400 mark at Revs. And yeah, it's like, it's always like something that kind of has always burned me. I'm like, I want to sell out at Revolution. You know what I mean? Like, it just feels like something that is necessary.
Yeah, it would be a 2021 goal. I don't know. Because I don't
sure.
even like, I don't think I've ever seen like a packed out like Revolution show. I don't think.
I have for like bands like 4 Years Strong and shit like that, but
well, like, okay,
I remember,
like in comparison to like AMH, like AMH is like you can pack out. Well, AMH is also smaller, but it's like.
Yeah, I mean, AMH is like, I think their max capacity is 200.
Yeah, something like that.
Rebs is like close to 5. I think it's 490. And maybe it's over 5. No, I think it's 490. I don't remember. It's something like that. But ooh, sorry, it's getting dark now. I should probably turn on some lights. But I don't know. Like, that one's always got me. It's just like, I got to do it. It's the local venue. You know what I mean? It's the local.
One day.
Yeah, one day. There's not many that we haven't done that with. Even non-traditional venues like Nappertandy's in Smithtown. We've packed close to 500 people in that place.
At Nappertandy's?
Yeah.
That's insane. That's awesome.
Yeah, there's a great picture of Chad crowd surfing in Nappers one night, and it was just like, way to turn this place into a venue. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's great.
Yeah. Do you have any memories like that in like outside of Long Island or like?
Yeah, of course. I'll be honest, like, that's where most of them. Hey, Melissa, can you turn on the light?
Melissa,
I'll get it. Yeah, right. Tap on.
You can still see you perfectly, so you're good.
Oh, okay, cool. Then maybe it's my screen doing that's what it is. My screen's doing the whole nighttime thing. It makes it a little dimmer. Okay, so St. Pete, right? I'm going to talk about St. Pete all the time because, like I said, it's second home there. We had been going back and forth to Florida religiously. I mean, just religiously. Once we got a taste of the Paramount, it was like, this is the only stage that we want to play on anymore, or stages like this. This is where we want to be. This is where we feel comfortable. Can you turn on the light for me? Thanks. Love you. So down in St. Pete, there's this venue called Janice Live. And Janice Live is like, in my opinion, the venue. After Janice, it's like Red Rocks,
Okay. Damn.
After Red Rocks, it's like the Gorge. You know what I'm saying? So Janice is it's an outside venue like the Paramount, and it's, I don't know, it's for art style music, like that's where you want to play. So whatever, long story short, we finally got to play there, and we played with the Reese brothers, who they're from that area. I'm sure you know who the Reese brothers are.
Someone called them out in the chat before when you were naming Florida bands.
Who did? Someone shouted them out? Yeah.
You were naming Florida bands before,
those are the homies, man. They're getting ready to release a new album too. Anyone who doesn't know should. I'm looking at the chat now. Yeah, like they're super talented brothers, you know. We shared the same manager for a minute, Dave Parnes. Shout out Parnes, talked to him today too, sent him some of the new stuff. It's cool. But yeah, so like we wound up finally playing Janus live, and that's something that I'll never forget. Because that was like a gigantic checklist. You know, from, I want to say like the first time that we ever went down to Florida, Chad and I were like, we got to play there. You know, like this is goals right here. And, you know, we had every Florida tour or every Florida run that we would book, like we would always at least send something to Janus. Hey, we're going to be in the area. We would love to jump on for support. But, you know, you never get anything back. But we finally played there, and they loved us. Management loved us, you know, so now we have our in there. So it's cool.
That's awesome. So now that's done, is Red Rocks the next venue?
Yeah, bro. Your lips to God's ears. Come on. Let's go. Yeah.
Love it.
As long as you let me do a little press and just stand there and take a fucking picture or something.
Bro, you could do all the press. We play Red Rocks, definitely. And I mean like a legit Red Rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Just
man.
a pass for like one little photo from like your iPhone. That's it.
Yeah. Done. You get the press pass for that.
All right, so let's get into your new music a little bit. Let's talk about The Circle, because it's a song I've been loving since I first heard you guys.
Oh my God. It's been on my like Spotify like on repeat list, like on like the top for like, I don't know how long it's been out, for however
that's
long
awesome.
It's been out, but
I've edited it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But so what's the? I mean, I know like you guys have done so many different variations on stage where you've had local guys come up during Staff Fest. You had Peter Dante jump on.
For sure.
What made you pick the bands that you picked to jump on the actual recorded track?
So that's kind of been like our forte for some time. Like I want to just point that because it's like Oogee's whole like MO from how we started was unity. You know, like when we first started in the Long Island scene, it was very competitive, and you know, it was like cover bands didn't mess around with original bands, but hard rock bands didn't talk to, you know, it was just very like, I don't know, it wasn't an inviting scene, let's just say that. And then we were like, we're gonna change that, and we started putting on multi-genre shows, and instead of just taking the door charge for ourselves, you know, it was like, let's put on 3 other bands, get some of their fans in that don't know who we are. We're going to give them a good show, you know? So like everything kind of worked out. And then that was just kind of like our MO from there. And then we always incorporated like some sort of jam song that we could grab members of said bands that were playing with us that night to come up and jam with us, you know, do a freestyle, you know, sing, you know, whatever, you know, something just to make it more of a family feel, you know?
Yeah.
So it's just that whole mentality just transpired into the music. And I remember I came into the studio one day and Nicky was sitting there, and he was all happy. He was stoked, like, you know, that I had walked in at that moment. And he had his loop pedal out, his guitar, he had his keyboard rig set up, and you know, like, I mean, like, dude was working right now. And he looked at me and he's like, I got to play you something. I made this beat last night, and I think I just got a hook for it. And so whatever, he played it. And my first initial reaction was, woo, like, bro, this beat is fire. I want to spit all over this right now. so just like from that night of kind of working it out, it just started all kind of like clicking together. Like, I mean, it makes sense to have Trop on it. You know what I mean? Rhodes is a fire lyricist and a great rapper, you know, great vocalist. James is a fire MC, great rapper, you know. Jordan was specifically my pick just because if it wasn't for the movement, and I mean like OG movement, I would have not even gotten into this reggae rock world, you know. Like obviously, like I grew up on Sublime. I love Slightly Stupid, but I never really like saw like jumped into the genre of them until I found the movement, and it was just like, this is everything that I'm trying to do right now. These guys are dope, you know. They're mixing hip hop and reggae, and you know, like this is so my vibe right now, you know. So just throughout the years, me and Jordan kind of like we just kind of clicked. Like I ran into him. I don't even remember. Oh, that's what it was. We played a show with Treehouse, and I wound up hitting up Jordan because we were playing in his hometown in South Carolina. And I want to say it was something kitchen. It was like an outdoor joint. It was a really cool spot. And whatever, he came down, so like we linked up from there, and then like I ran into him a couple times at like festivals, and you know, like we would freestyle a little bit together, like here and there, and like just kind of like built up, you know, a little friendship. And for me, it was dope because I'm like, dude, you're like literally the reason that I'm in this scene right now, you know. So it was, yeah, either way, like it was dope to have him on, you know, to have Jordan jump on that, and you know, again, Brandon is just, you know, that's just the homies right there, you know. And Brandon's another one, in my opinion. Like Brandon's probably, I think undoubtedly Brandon's the best lyricist in the reggae rock world, like hands down. When it comes to storytelling, songwriting, like yeah. Brandon's lyrically is pretty much untouchable, you know. So it was, you know, again, it was just an easy one. Yo, Brandon, you want to be on this? He's like, yep, love it. And I love his verse. I remember he sent me his verse when he first wrote it, and I was like, bro, you know, fire. Like I caught everything. I knew everything you're talking about. I agree, you know. But what are you saying?
Cool stuff. I was gonna ask, how much of it was like was a lot of it was like written before, right? Was any of it like improvised, like on the spot, or?
No. So like, you know, since we're all in different parts of the country, it's, you know, just God bless technology, right? You know, we were just able to like send everyone, you know, the track, and then they did it at their studios, and then sent us the stems, and you know, we just put it all together. So improvised, no. You know, on stage, like when we do it live, definitely. Like, there you go. I just saw she just jumped into the chat. Nikki
just jumped in.
You know, like one of the main reasons why like I loved the Big Happy off of the rip was, you know, Nikki and Austin's dynamics together. Their ability to improvise and freestyle is just, you know, second to none, and like that gets overlooked, I think, so much when it comes to like the definition of a good artist. You know what I mean? Like if you're not able to improvise and kind of come up with things on the spot, you know, it's just not saying you're bad if you can't do it. I'm just, you know, that's an overlooked talent that, you know, people have, in my opinion, you know.
I agree.
Maybe. So, which shout out to Nikki. I got her on,
literally all of the Big Happy just came out, and they're like, "Oh my God, thanks!"
Oh yeah, oh yeah, I'm seeing the chat. There you go. Yo, let me tell you something. Nikki is a beast. Okay, me and JP were working on this track, like for one of my solo projects, and actually, shouts out my man Larry Lawrence Coleman III. As quarantine first started, he like sent this riff. He wrote this guitar riff over to JP. Actually, I think he sent it to me first. And he's like, kind of want to just bounce it around and just everyone like put their little taste on it, you know? So it was a great idea. JP wound up taking it to over the top. And from the minute I heard it, I was like, I need to call Nikki. I need Nikki on this track. And I can't wait to release that one because Homegirl crushed it. Like she murdered her parts. And I can't wait for everyone to hear it.
Yeah, she's just like, I don't know, like her and Austin are like they're really smart with their lyrics and just like I don't know, they're like every time the last time I saw them they were playing a 4th of July party and like for fun I gave them a bunch of words to improv
Love it.
on. Just like I
Yeah,
gave
yeah.
them a bunch of words and they're like, why didn't you give us enough words to improv on? They like killed it with each one. I like gave them like 5 or 6.
Yeah,
But
that's what's up.
they're like, Veronica, give us more words. And I'm like, I don't have any more words. But no, they're just like they can just like do like I appreciate people who can like, you know, think on the spot and be able to like make
Totally.
stuff out of like almost nothing, you know. So.
I mean, as an MC, like it's like it almost when I was coming up, you know, like first starting to rhyme and shit, it was. Am I allowed to curse? I don't know. Sorry,
Yeah,
I think you are.
dude,
All right,
have
cool.
you not been listening to me this
I'm
whole
just,
time?
you know what I mean. I'm like always, I don't know, my kids and things are PG, you know. But like, yeah, like so, like when I was coming up, if you couldn't freestyle, and like I don't mean like industry freestyle, like hey, I have this written verse that I have memorized that I could put over any beat. I mean like on the spot freestyle, like you weren't get the hell out of there, you know, get out the cipher, like you can't rhyme, you know.
Yeah.
So it was like you had to be able to freestyle. Shouts out my man Frosty, my man Ryan in the chat. I've been seeing him down there. That's someone that like I came up freestyling with. Like I remember, you know, him and I, we were like essentially like the newbies, you know, to the rap group, you know, the rhyming circle there. And what's he saying? Rhyming in the whip. That's my man. That's what I'm talking about. We used to go on a CD a day diet, you know, where it's like you'd have a beat, you know, a beat CD of just instrumentals of like 30 tracks, and you would just freestyle over every single track every single day, you know, and it's just how you got better. And, you know, I don't know. Shouts out freestyling.
You know, so Ben, you've talked about your like you said like Sublime and the movement and Slightly Stupid growing up on and listening to them, but what's your hip hop influences? Like who was the reason you were like, yo, I could do this?
Yeah. Shit? All right. Off rip, the first person that blew my mind and made me like really switch focuses at a young age and started falling in love with hip hop was Tretch from Naughty by Nature.
Okay.
Like Tretch, in my opinion, is one of the most underrated MCs of all time. His wordplay, his flow, like everything about him was fire.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like that first, and actually, this is like embarrassing to say. So actually my first hip hop tape, her first hip hop cassette tape, came from my Uncle Ralph. Uncle Ralph worked at Hot 97, and it was a tag team Whoop There It Is cassette.
Okay.
And it's obviously like everyone knew that song, but listening to that whole album and then flipping the tape and listening to the next side, it kind of blew my mind because I've never heard anything like this before.
Right.
You know, like get away from that commercial song and like listen to like their whole album. It was like, whoa. And then that's like really like when I stumbled on Naughty by Nature. I'll answer it because most people ask it. No, I don't like Beastie Boys. This is a hill I'm ready to die on.
Handle.
Interesting. I wasn't gonna ask you, but interesting.
Wow.
So like growing up, like when all my friends were like listening to Beastie Boys, I was a KRS-One fan. You know, it was just more of that conscious rap that caught me. You know, where it was like, I don't know, Beastie just didn't do it for me. Their voices annoyed me. It just seemed like it was Dr. Seuss-esque, like juvenile rhyme schemes. You know, not knocking them, they're legends. You know what I mean? Like obviously they've gone way further than I have, but you know, like so I'm certainly not beating up on them. It's just my taste, my flavor. Now I was more of a KRS-One dude.
Right.
Favorite rapper of all time is Apathy. Underground dude from Connecticut. His clique is the Demigods. If anyone doesn't know Apathy, I'd say listen to Apathy. He's amazing. And Tone Deaf's probably the next one. The dude from Queens. Probably got the fastest rhymes in the game. But is also like the wittiest, most punchline, most intelligent rapper that I've ever come across. You know, rather versatile, my friend. I got a Tori Amos poster up in my barn. You know what I mean? So that's I love Tori as well.
For anyone watching who definitely isn't going to know Apathy or any of the rappers that you just named, Give me, because I know who it is.
Commercial?
Like, all these names and people are like,
Okay, you know what?
Give
I'm
all
ready to
these
do
people
He said he
this.
doesn't like
commercial,
Beastie Boys. Get him.
like a Big L or some shit, something that people know.
Boom. Okay. Yes. So there's another hill I'm ready to die on. I don't care. I'll say it. Tupac and Biggie are not the best of all time. That's it. It's a ridiculous argument to have. Like, yes, God bless them. They're incredible artists. Died before their time. I could only imagine what the industry would be like if they hadn't. You know, it would probably be insane. But at the end of the day, like, no, I mean, I think Big L and Big Pun are rank higher, you know, in my opinion. You know, like, just if it wasn't for Big L, like, you don't have your Jay-Z's. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Big L's the man.
There's only a certain amount of people can like overhype like bigger artists like Tupac and all that before it's like, there's like definitely people who are like, you know, like smaller or not as known that are way better, you know. So
For sure. I mean, but that's the thing. It's funny. Like me and a few people, Alex Turner was one of them. Like we got into the debate like last week, I want to say, of like greatest of all time. And listening to that new Eminem track, I was like, all right, that's it. M's the GOAT.
I saw this post you put up.
Yeah, M's the GOAT. There's no question anymore. Like, just the way he manipulates the English language is absurd.
Yeah.
And I respected Alex's retort to that and where he stood on Kendrick. And it forced me to dive into more Kendrick when I took Kendrick at like face value of like the couple of tracks that I had heard. And I'm like, all right, cool. He can rhyme fast over a jazz trap beat. I'm not impressed. I've heard this my whole life. And then that was it. Like, Alex kind of forced me to dive into him. So I did. And I take back a lot of what I said. Like, dude's dope. You know, he's certainly in the argument, I'd say.
Where do you stand on J. Cole?
Fire.
Dude, love him.
Yeah. J. Cole's one of the only like new dudes that I like. And Joyner. I think Joyner is going to be a problem for the years to come.
I think J. Cole and like Denzel Curry are like two of like the best rappers right now in terms of just like changing the cadence of their voice and like all shit like that. Like all these other rappers need features, you know what I mean? Where like those two rappers themselves are almost their own feature.
I agree with you on that. I mean, that whole camp that J. Cole is bringing up is pretty fire.
Yes.
You know, like they're all hard. They all have bars. So that's really what I look for, you know, nowadays. It's like, I'm just back to like simplistic, like just give me bars. That's all I want anymore. I'm so over this, you know, the 6ix9ines and like the goofy nonsense. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. It plays in the club and it gets drunk girls dancing. Yeah. You know, like,
I like when lyrics are smart, and it's like when you listen to it like 3 or 4 times, you're like, oh, like that's what they're saying. Yes. It's like, and then you like actually like look into the lyrics, you're like, oh, that's like that. I don't know. I love the like similes and like all of that. I think it's awesome. So
that's like a regret that I have. Like Pseudo is, you know, there was I want to say on the More Sand Than Money album that we did, we started getting like a lot of like attention. You know, we were, you know, whatever. We had like talked to dudes from Atlantic a few times, and you know, like we were going in that direction. And one of my regrets was dumbing it down. You know, as
like
per request.
The label, you mean?
Yeah, like writing. You know, like I'll be honest with you, it's harder to do that for me. Like, it's really hard to dumb things down. You know, I don't know. Like, I like
that you regret from that that EP at all, or
you know,
not something you want to say.
No, but there's definitely a song. Like, we have a song. Chad's gonna hate me for this one, but "Pass Me a Drink," right? There's a song, "Pass Me a Drink," that we wrote, and I want to say we specifically wrote it for this guy Andrew Lane, who's a producer out in California. We were working with him. Like, he was doing like big things at the time. High School Musical 3 was like one of his like big ones that, you know, that really like made him a lot of money. He's doing a lot of stuff with Disney. So he was getting more pop focused. And, you know, like that was like one of the first ones where it was like, okay, you have to dumb down your verses. And it was difficult to do that, you know? I don't know. I like complexity. Maybe not. Complexity is the wrong word. I like depth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if it's not going to be story form, like I need depth. You know.
Dude, that's the problem with music nowadays. Like, or it's problem with society in general. Like, nobody can sit and listen to a full album anymore, right? Like, that used to be the thing.
Right.
You do a CD from front to back. Like even like verse, chorus, verse. Like that's all you're getting. Like you're not having these 5-minute songs anymore where people are just spitting the whole time. Like,
right.
It's just so simplified compared to what it is, and it turns into like these fucking
Bro,
6 lines and Little Pumps and all these other dumbass rappers.
Right, and now it's getting even. It's being cut even more now, right? So like, oh, what was the what Billy Joel song is it, right? And then I cut it down to 305. What song is it? I'm the worst Long Islander in the world.
Dude,
well, whatever.
Like, are answering you as well, though.
Billy Joel, like he made a great point there, right? Because like that was the time frame. You know, that was your parameters if you wanted to get played on the radio. Was it had to be 3 minutes and 5 seconds or under. Otherwise, you weren't. It wasn't even in consideration, right? Now it's like the hip hop world, or like this. I can't even call it the hip hop world. This mumble rap world has taken that even a step further, where it's like they're putting out songs that are 2 minutes long, 2 minutes and 15 seconds long,
like,
because they understand the attention span's not there.
Yeah.
That's the problem. There's no attention span at all.
Right. It's like they're like Vine rappers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're like,
Oh my god.
remember, you know what I'm saying? Remember Vine?
I mean, and honestly, look at Spotify now. Look how every band is releasing 3 singles, and then that's the EP they come out.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. It was like, advice in the music industry, like don't release an album, release like an EP that's like 2 songs, and then like 1 or 2 songs after. And it's like, I don't know. I don't know. I've like been forcing myself to like listen to albums like front to back when people release it, because like people put time to it and people put like effort into like the order of everything and like how.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I agree. And I love that you just said that, because like it as an artist, it makes me happy to know that there are still people out there that appreciate that, you know, because I agree. Like, I feel like the industry has become single based, and that's it. And I get it makes sense, right? Like it totally makes sense. Like we as artists, like this is something that like none of us like to talk about, but facts are facts. Like this is our business. This is how we make money. And with album sales gone, you know, signing with a label, they're recouping, like you get the only thing that labels are giving out are 360 deals. And what are they taking from everything?
Yeah.
Because record sales aren't there. So you're almost forced to single everything.
Yeah.
Just so you can get your streams up and you can get your monetization money that way. You know, like if someone thinks, like, let's put it this way, right? Like if J. Cole, like we were just talking about, right? If J. Cole releases an album, that's great, right? Like us as fans, we want to hear a J. Cole album. But if he releases 12 singles instead of a 12-track album, the amount of money he'll make off of the 12 singles greatly outweighs releasing a full album now.
Yeah.
You know?
And it sucks. And like that, it sucks sometimes. That's the nature of like how the industry is now. Like, I don't know.
Right.
Like I love when, like
totally
bands are like, oh hey, here's a full album. Like enjoy this experience. You know? I don't know. Instead of like, here's like all of these like tracks like within the year, but then also here's the album like a year later.
Right.
So,
right. Yes.
It's just,
I don't know. You know what it is? We need more Trent Reznors in the world, like in the music industry.
Yo, and I mean, people I'm sure will argue with me because we just talked about the whole way the music scene is going, but I would say like 85-90% of the time, the favorite song on an album is not one of those singles. It's something that you're going to find deep cut listening to a whole album.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just like aren't even finding it now, you know?
Like, oh yeah, here's this track at like the end of the album. You're like, where was this like 6
Where
months
was this?
ago?
Right. It's like it's those filler tracks, right?
Mhm.
And it's like that's one thing that I hate about the single game is that you lose those filler tracks that most of the time turn into somebody's favorite track on the album because it connects with them, you know, in such a way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I'm with you on that. Like, I'm way more about a full length album, or at least some sort of conceptual thing. Like, on like my solo stuff, originally I wanted to do a winter EP and a summer EP, right? And put like more of my darker emotional, sad things on the winter EP and more of my happier, beachy type things on the summer EP, right? Because like it just made sense,
Right.
you know. And now it's like you're forced to, not forced, but putting them all together and now figuring out a good flow of mixing them together to create a good listenable album, you know.
Yeah.
But I love that, you know. That's part of it, in my opinion, is telling a story with the tracks as well, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Like that's something that Kendrick is very good at, having an entire album tell a story. Same with like Kid Cudi, entire album
Sure.
tells a full story.
Right. That's like something like, I know like no one really knows who Tone Deaf is, but like one of Tone Deaf's album, what was it called? Oh my God, I'm the worst. Well, whatever. He released, in my opinion, one of the best hip hop albums of all time, because if you listen to it in its entirety, the whole album is a loop. And you know, the way that the intro track comes in is exactly how the last track finishes out, and just that idea is amazing. You know, and like the fact that he was able to do that, as a fan, I appreciate that, you know.
Yeah.
Cheers.
I was hoping that someone answered your question.
Cheers to that, boy.
Yo, so let's go into your solo a little more.
Okay.
So tell us about it. Tell us, like, so you're saying you're talking about the dark. So what can people expect now? Because I would have assumed it would have been more the hip hop side, more the Oogee side a little bit. But now that you're talking about like sad stuff, like, are we about to hear like? I'm not even put words in your mouth. Let me hear what you got to say about it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, to be honest, it's a culmination. It's a buildup of a lot of stuff over the course of a decade in being in music, trying to make music a career. You know, but then it's also just some of my own, you know, just silly banter that, like, you know, I need to get out. You know what I mean? The thing is, like, I write every day. Like, it's just, that's just my release. Whether I'm writing raps or I'm sitting with my ukulele and trying to figure out new melodies or whatnot. But like, I'm always doing it every day just to keep it sharp. You know, and sometimes you just pop things out and you're like, whew, this is dope. I want to record this one. So like my, you know, the solo project has actually morphed now, where I'm teaming up with JP again, and him and I are going to do an Oogee Lee and Wave Rider album. Wave Rider is JP's artist name. So, you know, we started Ride Waves Records, which is great. We put out Chad's solo album. We put out Chad's old band Hiatus's albums. We're putting out all of my solo stuff there. Anything JP and I do together is going out, you know, through that. You know, we've been talking to some other bands, you know, locally about helping them out and helping them build their platforms, and, you know, having them work with JP on recording and production, and, you know, and then putting it out, helping them put that out, you know, through Ride Waves that way. So, you know, like we've been staying busy on that. But yeah, so either way, it's just JP and I have always worked very well together. You know, we enjoy working with each other, you know, so it's a very comfortable, explorative environment, you know, that we work with. Like, one of my favorite songs on this new album I'm putting out is Wasting My Time. And that's a song that I wrote on my ukulele at, I want to say at the Scientific Music Festival last year. You know, I just found a chord progression I was plucking away with, you know, like I was just kind of in a weird place at that time. And that song's like, I don't know, for me, it says a lot, you know. But either way, like the whole point of this is that it's cool that I'm able to like do a crummy scratch recording and send it over to JP, and then go over there in a week and make something masterful. You know, I love it. Whoa.
Dude, I've been watching the lightning behind Dan and Veronika this whole time.
What?
Oh yeah.
It's been going on for a while. There's been lightning behind both of you for like.
Yeah, I'm
awesome.
trying. Like I keep seeing it, and I'm like, don't get distracted by it. Don't
I love
like your
My
attention
friend
span,
texted me-
please.
My friend texted me like a half hour ago. They lost power, and I've just been like, God damn it! If we lose power, I swear to God.
Oh wow, this is gonna be for real, huh?
Well, yeah, we're
That's
good.
awesome. I just started remodeling my bathroom this afternoon, so that's cool.
Oh hell yeah!
I'm gonna do that in the rainstorm now.
Yo, you got a big compliment in the comments there.
What do I got?
Yeah, we got your songs are great for working out and releasing stress. Very motivational.
Oh, thanks, Laura. I appreciate it.
5 out of 5 on 5 out of 5 on Google reviews.
I appreciate it. I'm really stoked on the Oogee album that's coming out. So like we have Herbal, the next single, set to release. And we're trying to figure out when the best time to release the whole album is. We don't know if we might do another single release and then the full album. You know, things have been crazy in the world. You know?
When I mean, if you had to take a guess, I know this is a crazy question, but when can people maybe start expecting some hints, some snippets of some new things, anything like that? Anytime in the near future? Is this like a winter type deal? What are you thinking?
Oh, for the Oogee album?
Is this that winter EP type stuff or like that summer EP type stuff?
No, see, this is what I was saying before off air with you, is that it's like, it's really difficult for me to try and balance it right now because I'm sitting on a ton of music, you know, like I'm sitting on a full length Oogee album that I want to put out and, you know, release, but I want to do it properly, you know? So like we put the pre-sales out for Herbal, which shouts out anyone who's listening, who's on Spotify, go and pre-save the next single, please. That it really helps us
pre-save link
get on some playlists.
Wait, do we have was there a pre-save link? I'll like put it in there, like, yeah, do it.
Yeah, I think it's
that one.
I think it's in
Got
my
it?
Insta bio. Or Dan's the man, he's got this.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, so that helps us get on playlists. And
Right.
you know, we really think that Herbal has that sound that the curators would really enjoy. And if that gets put on like a Beach Vibes, you know, a curated playlist, that'll be huge for us. Huge. You know, because I think, you know, like generally, like that's been the struggle, is getting people to listen. Whenever someone listens to Oogee, they're usually like, oh my God, I love you guys. You're my new favorite band, you know? So I'm hoping that that happens this time.
Dude, I'm sure it will.
Yeah.
I saw you comment, Dan, and I was like, all you said was pre-save that new Oogee Wawa, and I was like, you're not gonna even like post it.
I meant to like.
No, I got it.
He got it.
Didn't work out.
No, it's there. I love
I
it.
got you.
Oh,
My
I can
man.
pin it. Wait, pin comment. Pin. Woo! Okay, cool. Now people will see it, if anyone.
I love it. That's great.
Hell yeah, dude. So, what can people expect of the new Oogee compared to anything you released, I guess, recently? Is there anything different? Is there, I mean, you talked how your solo stuff goes from like beachy to more like sad and emotional.
Yeah.
How does the Oogee vary?
Yeah, so
She too sad. Love it.
one of the things that I love about this, it's weird. It's like, it's a big selfish reason for myself. I get the best of both worlds right here. The new Oogee album it's going to be way different than any other album we put out, clearly, because we're different. It was a different lineup. You know, we didn't have JP and Frank in that lineup. Nikki wasn't on drums. You know, Nick was now on, hold on, I'm just going to move under the underpass, the overpass, because
Oh yeah.
now it's raining.
I just noticed that your pergola has no roof on it, and I was like, oh wait.
I know.
That's inconvenient.
I actually said, I'm like, I want to turn this into like a playroom for the kids, because it seems like someone meant to frame this in and then just stopped. You know, like I didn't do this.
Yeah, I see all like the shingles on the roof. I'm like, is this your bathroom project you're working on?
Oh yeah, no. Sorry, I don't want to get electrocuted. Just unplugging electronics.
Good idea.
Yeah. But so yeah, what were we saying? The
You're talking about the new music, and you said with the change of the lineup and everything, how it's different. That's what you were up.
Oh yeah, right. So the new one it's like I said, it's way different than any other album that we put out. One of the main reasons is like I wrote a lot of the songs on this one, and not saying that like I didn't, like obviously like I wrote all the verses for every Oogee album in existence. But like this was the first time that like I actually brought full songs to the table. You know, hey, I have this chord progression, this hook, and these verses. What do you guys think? And you know, that happened with a lot of them. So that alone changes them. The fact that we had, you know, Lawrence involved with you know, with the writing, just his background and his style, you know, changes things. It's, you know, different than everything else. This is the first album that we didn't do with JP. You know, John Paul engineered and produced every one of our albums. This one we went and did with Mike Watts over at Voodoo Studios in Fort Jeff. You know, which that was an experience in itself. You know, something that we as a group never experienced before. You know, like that, a real like in the studio atmosphere, paying money, paying studio time to put together your album. You know, that was an experience, to say the least. But yeah, no. So like, you're gonna get a. Sorry, just give me one sec.
Huh?
I had to wipe the screen. It was killing me.
Oh, well, that's it.
Oh no! Oh no! What did I do?
You gotta turn the camera back on.
Oh, he logged out of the app.
Oh, is he gone like forever? Wait. Oh, okay, there he is. Hey.
No, I'm back. Sorry.
All right.
I had raindrops on my screen, and I was like, my OCD's flaring up. I can't see that. But yeah. So other than that, you know, like it's got a lot. It's heavier in some aspects. You know, it has a lot more rock oriented riffs in it. And I gotta say, man, like some of the more relaxed reggae vibe songs are just really good songs. You know, I'm really excited for people to hear Sweet Sippin'. We have our buddy Kenny Mullins from Resonated on that one. Believe is another one that like I'm like over the hill with. And then we have another track, Lunatic, which personally, like that's one of my favorites, you know, unbiasedly, but you know, one of my favorites just because of the context of it. It's like you're having a conversation in the mirror with yourself, and like the first verse is me talking to younger me, the second verse is younger me yelling at current me, and then the third verse is like older me chiming in on it, you know. So it's the perspective is cool. I like that one a lot.
Really? Some storytelling shit. That's what I like.
Yeah, man.
Hell
You
yeah.
know. Yeah.
We're not gonna keep you in the rain all night, but fucking thank you so much for coming on, dude. We appreciate it tremendously. But
Yeah, dude. Hey, I appreciate you guys. All the work that you've been doing, everything you guys do. You're incredible for the scene and for all of us artists. So thank you.
Dude, thank you. So we end everything with kind of the same question, and you've pretty much done this the entire time anyway, I think. I think you sold Oogee like pretty fucking well.
Literally everyone is like, oh my god, yes!
You say, like, if you had to give like a 20-second pitch to someone who like has never heard Oogee, has no idea who you are, what would be the thing that gets people to just give Oogee a chance? Or your solo shit a chance as well?
It's literally like all of your favorite musics combined into one. Have an open ear, and I guarantee you're going to have a permanent smile. That would be my pitch.
Dude, I love that. Did you plan that? Because that was great. That was the
No, I
easiest
didn't.
we got.
Hey, man, that's freestyling on the docks as a kid. You know what I'm saying?
No, before we go,
people.
plug your socials, plug your website, plug everything. Where can
yeah,
people
for sure.
find-
Definitely check us out. We are the only Oogee Wawa on everything. OogeeWawa.com, at Oogee Wawa on Twitter. Hit us up on the gram. I control our Instagram, so if anyone wants to ask me anything or whatever, hit me up there. You can hit me up personally, Oogee Lee. I'm the only Oogee Lee out on anything. That's my gamer tag. That's my everything tag. So anyone who plays some games, I got Xbox. I'm on PS Live. Hit me up. Let's go.
Oh, are you playing? Have you been playing Warzone?
I haven't, and Chad is so mad at me for it. You know,
Ben is mad at
like,
me for not playing Warzone.
Throughout
Warzone
the whole
was shit.
quarantine, I was flipping a house, so I didn't have, you know. But like now that my shit's going back to normal, I'm loading it up. Me and my brother-in-law, we had been playing Civilization Revolution 6 together. I'm a big Civs fan. I love it. And the new one is fire, especially you could play online with your friends. So,
Nice.
Well,
but yeah, either way,
Warzone.
I'm gonna. Yeah, dude, I'll hit you up when I fully download it. I have it like halfway in the queue. I just haven't committed fully.
I see Chad sign on all the damn time.
Oh yeah, do you?
Yeah,
Shit, I heard he's getting good, man.
So
I heard he's
gotta
getting
jump
good.
in.
I'm in. I love it.
All right, dude.
But
Anyone
guys,
in the comments,
appreciate
please, please find them on Warzone and like, you know.
Definitely.
Thank you again. We appreciate it so much.
I appreciate both of you. Thank you.